Hello, and welcome to the YIP 2020 Program Overview. My name is Tina White, and I'm the Director of the Northern New England Young Inventors Program, and I'm excited to kick off the new school year. Some of you have been running YIP for years, and others are very new. And as you know, I'm new as well, taking over the program last March. However, I've been with the Academy of Applied Science for almost 5 years, so I'm very familiar with the Young Inventors Program, and I'm thrilled to now be a part of it. Also on our call today, we have our Communications Director, Sarah Monroe, and Sarah will be helping to answer questions and monitoring the chat function. So please use this webinar as an interactive tool. We wanted to host this webinar today to launch a new series, which we hope will better connect you and provide more targeted support as you run your YIP programs. We realize that while there is great autonomy in the YIP program, we also have a large number of people working towards the same mission and the same goals. As a staff, we wanted to improve our network and bring you all closer together to share ideas and best practices. You are on the ground and in the trenches, and you're not alone, and we plan to host fairly regular webinars. Some will be focused on information like this one so that you can become aware of new things going on in the program and aware of details to best prepare your students for success. Others will be more related to professional development to enhance your ability to lead the invention design in your school. And some will be opportunities for you to network and work collaboratively to share best practices. In addition, we also plan to help some virtual seminars and webinars for students to introduce them to inventors who have conversations with them, to provide workshops on public speaking or on designing a display board. Again, we want to build this into a larger community type of program. So today is just an overview. In the interest of community building, I just want to make sure that you all feel comfortable and that you know that you are welcome to pitch in and to offer any anecdotes that you may have or any questions throughout this webinar. So please feel free to interrupt or to use that chat function and type in any questions or comments as we go. And again, Sarah will be helping with that. Today we'll cover the topics listed on the agenda shown here. Some of these we will just touch on, and of course we plan to host more informational webinars focused more specifically on some of the topics later in the year. Many of you already feel that YIP is a valuable program, which is why you're running it again or why you've decided to bring it to your school. And there are many benefits to you and your students and to your school and to your community. But this is just a good reminder of how the Young Inventors Program helps our students grow. And again, here's what the program brings to your school and organization, and more important, to your students. And I know that you are aware of these benefits. The Young Inventors Program is flexible. Ideally, we spend about 6 to 12 weeks, which fits into many time frames. Again, 12 weeks I know is a lot, but there are some programs that have that opportunity, or maybe that just run the program 1 day a week, so it's stretched out over a larger time frame, whereas others might be more intense and kind of do it on a daily basis or more frequent basis to be able to condense it into a shorter time frame. It can be done before school, it can be done in the middle of the school day as part of the curriculum, or it can be run as an after-school extracurricular program. And as you know, we intentionally designed the program to be adaptable. So despite the guidelines and even our new fully developed curriculum, we leave much of the program implementation to you. The information and resources we share are tools, but they are not required. You can choose to use any of them as they are. You can revise them to meet your own needs, or you could decide not to use them at all. If you've been running a successful program, then certainly we encourage you to stick with it and don't reinvent the wheel. And we'd love to hear about what you're doing because others may find it useful as well. But if you're looking for more structure or a new idea or some more guidance, then we have that too. So who can register? And this is sometimes a question that many students and families may have, not necessarily you as teachers and program leaders, but just to review, anyone can participate in the Young Inventors Program. The program was originally founded on the idea that invention and STEM should be accessible to all. So we don't want to turn anyone away. But at the same time, we do like to know who's participating. Not only does that allow us to support you and to send materials and be able to send communication to you, but it also helps in our efforts to fund the program and sustain it. So how can someone participate? Well, as you know, as a school or organization, any teacher, school administrator, a librarian, extracurricular program leader can register their school or organization to become a sponsored YIP program. Sponsored schools and organizations will receive resources including curriculum, classroom materials, access to webinars and workshops like this one, and other support to administer the program and to administer the school's organization's local invention fair. Any homeschool leader, a parent or guardian or mentor who supports an individual or a small group of students independently may also sponsor these students to participate in the Young Inventors Program. So we have a lot of students who have participated in your programs and then, age out. They move on to the next grade level or to the next level of school, perhaps moving from elementary to middle school, and they still want to invent and they still want to do things and enter in the program, and that's fine as well. They can enter as an independent. And this year, the Academy of Applied Science will host an invention fair for these independent inventors, which will take place, will kind of replace the school or local competition so that all the homeschool and independent students will participate in an independent invention fair to be eligible for the Regional Invention Convention and possibly move on to the Invention Convention U.S. Nationals.
And Tina, we have a question. Hi, it's Sarah. Hi, everyone.
Hey, Sarah.
Hi. So just a quick question. Someone is saying, I want to have an invention club at my school. Would I have to have an invention fair at my, can I be a club and have an invention fair at my school as a club?
Yes, and we encourage that. But if your club has minimal participation and you feel like maybe, if you only have, hopefully you'll have a large group as part of the club. We have lots of clubs at schools that take place after school or even during lunchtime. It's kind of a lunch bunch type of club. That, if you feel you have enough students that it really makes sense, we encourage you to have a fair for that club so that you can showcase and highlight their work to friends, families, other students in the school so that maybe you can increase participation the next time you're to have the club. And then also that can serve as selection to move on to the regional and possibly the national competitions. However, if the club has minimal participation or you're wondering about that, we can certainly have a conversation, but it may be that it's more appropriate that your club enter into the independent invention fair. But again, we can have that conversation and it's really based on numbers, but certainly we encourage any program running it, whether it's in school as a club, an extracurricular activity with a Girl Scout or Boy Scout troop, that you're having your own local fair, because I think that's the way to highlight the program in your community and let your students shine in their community. Great, thank you. And thanks to whoever asked that question. And Sarah, let me know if there are more questions as we go.
They're saying thanks.
Great. All right. So I think many of you have registered already and you're on the webinar, so I know you're engaged, you're receiving our communication, but just as a reminder, make sure that you do register. We want to know who you are. We want to know the number of students that you're working with. And again, once you register, we'll be sending you an order form for your YIP pack, which was formerly called the YIP kit, but these are the materials that you will need to run the program. And again, this is all free. We'll also be able to send you links and access to resources and the new curriculum. And we'll be able to communicate about professional development and support opportunities and start a YIP network so that we're connecting you to other leaders and teachers to start sharing best practices and to begin working together. So we encourage you to please register. So what's new? Again, many of you have been running the Young Inventors program for a while, and we haven't made any major dramatic changes, but we did make some changes. We spent the latter part of the spring and this summer interviewing teachers, families, students, and other members of our YIP community, just asking questions about what you liked, what you were hoping for, you know, kind of your thoughts and ideas. And so we have taken that to make some changes that we hope will benefit you and your students, and will just continue to improve the program as we move forward. We developed a curriculum. That was something that many teachers asked for, especially some of our newer programs, asking for more guidance and you know, a curriculum. Also, some of you asked for curriculum because it's something that you need to convince your parents, in the school district, administrators, your school principal, on, you know, kind of the value and that this program does meet standards, and you know, it's an organized program in order to kind of advocate to bring it to your school. We definitely had desire for more teacher resources, more teacher support. So we'll be providing that as well. We wanted to bring in online workshops for students, not only to, you know, focus on connecting teachers, but to get our students working together and also feeling like they're a part of something much bigger than what's just going on in their own school and community. And then, of course, each year we have a challenge theme. So those are things that we'll be talking about as we move through today. So the challenge theme. Each year, the Young Inventors program offers an additional challenge. Inventors who accept the challenge must incorporate a special element into their invention design. The challenge invention category includes all inventions which incorporate the year's theme. And these inventions are developed through the invention and design track of the program. And we'll be talking about that track in just a few minutes. The challenge may provide more direction for students who are feeling overwhelmed by the thought of brainstorming a problem to solve, or for those students who are seeking to push themselves to think outside the box. So this year's challenge, the Green School Challenge. This is an opportunity to make your school more efficient and more environmentally friendly. I know that's a hot topic, kind of just globally right now, but we really wanted to take some time to focus on that. I think if you remember, last year's challenge was Funvention, inventing the next hit toy. We had so many really cool inventions and ideas. The students were really excited about it. So we're hoping that this will also generate a lot of enthusiasm from our students. I know many of them, a lot of our other inventions do focus on sustainability and ways to help or improve the environment. So I think this challenge will be popular. So anything that you can do to make your school more efficient or environmentally friendly would be a part of this challenge invention category. So, so again, we encourage you to share that with your students. And see what that takes them, and also perhaps based on the ideas, you know, have your students work with the school, present these ideas to school leadership, to the principal, to administrators, because some of these ideas may actually become implemented and be able to help in the community. So let's begin to make your school a greener place. All right, and this is just kind of a quick overview of how to run the program. Many of you, again, have been doing this, so I think you have a good idea of kind of the task list and the things that need to happen throughout the duration of the program. But for those that are new or just kind of rethinking how you're running the program, I just wanted to kind of briefly touch on, a summary of what the steps are. So of course you register, you order your YIP pack so that you get those materials from us. Definitely set a timeline, how many times a week are you meeting with your students? How long do you have? All of those things that go into kind of lesson planning and planning a unit such as one-on-one invention. We're encouraging programs to host a YIP kickoff event, and this doesn't have to be a big thing, but just something to generate excitement and something to to get everyone excited and to kind of help promote the program and the event from the start. So you could invite a speaker, an inventor, a local STEM industry leader in your community to come talk to your class or talk to the school about what they do and just kind of get everyone thinking about inventing. Invite some students who participated in the past. If you run this in 3rd grade, maybe go to the 4th grade and find some of those students who embraced the program, the previous year, and have them come, and if they still have their projects, show off what they did. Take a field trip if you have the opportunity to do that. Show a video. There's so many videos out there. The Henry Ford Museum of American Innovation, who's a partner with Invention Convention Worldwide, which is kind of the umbrella organization under which we are a part of. They have some great things on their Innovation Nation and Did I Mention Invention, which are 2 television shows, kid-friendly television shows. So there's so many things that you could do to just kind of, really start the program on a high note. And then, of course, teach. We have the new curriculum materials, which we'll be visiting in just a moment, activities and resources. The average time, again, 6 to 8 or 10 weeks is what's recommended to run the program. And then something else I know that we've heard kind of as a best practice is, especially if you have a larger program, I encourage you to think about forming an invention fair committee. You can, have other teachers from your school involved, maybe some parent or guardian volunteers or community members, but maybe a group of 3 to 4 people who can kind of help you, and you can delegate some of the tasks for planning and running the actual invention fair to this committee can help with recruiting and communicating to judges, looking for additional award sponsors, assigning students to places, setting up tables, helping at the event, just, some people that you'll be able to rely on so that you are not left doing all of the work. And we've gotten a really good response from schools that have formed small committees of volunteers. And I think that that's just one way to take a little bit of the pressure off of you. Of course, at the end of your unit, we encourage you to have a culmination event, which we recommend as the Invention Fair. Again, this can serve as kind of the local level of competition in the competitive aspect of the Young Inventors program, so that winners and selected students from the school local invention fair are then invited. You will nominate them to the Northern New England Young Inventors Program Regional Invention Convention. And of course, selected students from the Regional Invention Convention will be invited to attend the National Invention Convention, hosted by Invention Convention Worldwide. We certainly encourage you as teachers, as program leaders, to attend our regional invention convention to support your students who are presenting there, and also just to meet the other teachers, we will be looking to do a little bit more, perhaps a workshop or something for teachers at the Regional Invention Convention, to bring you all together and to provide a little bit more support with how you're administering the program. And then we also encourage you to attend the Invention Convention U.S. Nationals, particularly if you have students who will be presenting. Again, this is optional, but you may be able to get some professional development credit. I know we had a teacher join our delegation last year, and there is an educator track as part of the convention at the U.S. Nationals. And so she was able to submit the schedule, and I'm not sure if there was anything else, but she received her professional development credit for attending that event. And she got to spend a few days at the Henry Ford Museum of American Innovation and Greenfield Village, which is a living history museum on the grounds of the Henry Ford. And I think she had a really cool time, and I know her students loved having her there, as well as we enjoyed spending time with her as part of the delegation. Great. A few changes to the 2020 competition process and rules. Again, there is a competitive aspect to the Young Inventors program. It's definitely not the priority or the primary aspect. Really, we want to focus on students and their experience with invention and the skills that they're building through this project-based learning process. But there is a competition as well if you choose to participate in that. And I would say that most of our programs do. We've made a few changes to the rules in order to align with the nationals, because we want to make sure that we're setting our students up for success. So YIP offers a unique opportunity for K through 12 students to become a part of a global ecosystem that allows them to gain new skills, perspectives, relationships, and recognition. And there are 3 levels of competition, which I think we've talked about. There's the local and school invention fair, the regional, the Northern New England regional, Invention Convention, and then the national, the Invention Convention U.S. Nationals. Students will develop an invention that solves a problem in one of 3 categories. We have the general invention and design category, and that's for students who create kind of anything and everything under the sun. And then we also have the challenge invention category. So those inventions are the ones that will focus and address our challenge of the year. And this year is the Green School Challenge. And then we also have a category for chain reaction machines, for those who create a Rube Goldberg machine, which we now call chain reaction machines. Selected students from the school and local fair will be nominated to present at the Regional Invention Convention. As we said earlier, any independent inventors or homeschool inventors or inventors from small programs that may not host their own local fair will be asked to participate in an independent invention fair in order to move on to the regional event. And then selected winners at the regional level may qualify and be invited to move on to the Invention Convention U.S. Nationals. Please note, and this has been since U.S. Nationals, this will be their 5th U.S. Nationals this year, but the U.S. Nationals does not have a chain reaction machine invention competition category. So students who do the chain reaction machines, the highest level of competition that they are eligible for will be our regional competition. Teachers often ask about partner projects and teams, and yes, teams and partner projects are allowed. We understand that many of the project-based learning opportunities emphasize the development of 21st century skills, which include collaboration, communication, and social skills such as teamwork. So you may choose to allow team projects or not, totally up to you. Teams are eligible to present in their general invention and design invention category, the challenge invention category, and the chain reaction machine category at the Regional Invention Convention and at the Invention Convention U.S. Nationals. But again, there is no chain reaction machine category at the national level. In order to align with the rules of the Invention Convention U.S. Nationals, we have made changes to our rules regarding teams this year. So teams can compete against individuals and vice versa. So everyone, whether you're a team or an individual, you could be competing together in the same judging group. General invention and design invention projects and the challenge invention projects may include up to 2 students per team. And I think this is a change from past years. I think we allowed up to 4 students. So we have cut that down to 2 students. And again, that's because at the national level, only 2 students are allowed per team. In the chain reaction machine invention category, that may include no more than 4 students. So a maximum of 4 students per team can be working and present the chain reaction machine invention. All team members must participate in the development of the invention, and all should keep their own Young Inventors Program Inventors Journal or some sort of invention logbook. Each student can enter only one project, so we don't allow a student to enter a project, for example, in the general invention and design category, and then also in the chain reaction machine category. So they can only enter one project, and that goes for the school and local invention fair, the regional invention convention, and the Invention Convention U.S. Nationals. And all members of the team are not required to be present at the regional invention convention or at the national invention convention should the project be selected to attend. Are there any questions, Sarah?
Not at the moment. I think everybody's seeing these are pretty clear instructions.
Great. Thanks. All right. Well, we are kind of far away from presentation time. I wanted to briefly touch on the competition requirements so that as you think about your program and how you want to approach the year, you're aware of the expectations and will be able to set your students up for success. We've made some slight changes to our requirements, again, to match those of the national competition so that our students' projects remain eligible should they move on through the levels of competition. We encourage schools and organizations to adopt the same requirements so that students do not have to do additional work to prepare for another round of competition. But again, this is entirely your choice in how you wish to run your program and the rules you wish to set for your own local school invention fair. But at the regional level and the national level, the Young Inventors Journal or the Invention Logbook will be required. And this is a journal that documents the student's journey and all aspects of the invention process. Journals should be used throughout the development of the project and should not be a report that's completed after the fact. It should be done kind of in process. And so it's okay if it's messy, if it has things scratched out, if ideas change. That's part of the invention process. That's actually a good thing. So we do have a lesson focused on how to record and document work and on introducing the YIP Inventors Journal in our curriculum if you wish to use it. We also will provide each inventor in your program with their own Young Inventors Program Inventor Journal. So the YIP Inventor Journal will be provided in your YIP pack, and we'll be asking you on the order form how many students you have in the program so that we can send you the correct number. Other logbooks are certainly acceptable, though, if you wish to use something else, but that is something that we'll provide. Another requirement is a 3-panel display board. And again, our curriculum has a lesson that focuses on how to make a display board and kind of what makes a good display board. So again, you're welcome to use this with your students, or you can have them work on those independently. It's up to you. And then models and prototypes. And these may be working or non-working. So I want to emphasize the non-working. It is okay if a model doesn't move or it doesn't do the task or the thing that the invention kind of idea is about. But if it just kind of shows a design, structure, that is fine and acceptable at all levels of competition. They are not even required, but they are recommended. And certainly at the national level, I would say From what I saw last year, I don't recall seeing any project that didn't have at least some sort of visual, physical design on the table. And again, some were working and some were not working, but there was something physical and visual presented along with the display board. The models demonstrate the key characteristics that make the invention valuable, original, and useful. And again, it does not have to be fully functional.
Gina, a quick question, and maybe you'll get to this, is what if someone needs power at the regional event?
Sure. So at the regional event, we do have access to electrical outlets. And so we'll ask during that process of preparing for regional, we'll ask inventors to let us know if they need to be close to an outlet. So we provide power. At the national convention, power is not supplied. So that is something that's different between the regional and national. So we want students to be aware of that, and certainly we'll work with them. If they are selected from our region to attend the national, we'll work with them to kind of modify their model and to figure out a way, that they can power it. So I hope that that answers the question.
I think so.
Okay.
I don't see anything
And
else.
also when it comes to things that are battery operated, we do require at all levels of competition, students need to provide their own batteries. And also from experience, I would recommend that you have extra batteries with you because inevitably on the day of competition or presentation, the batteries die or they don't work. So it's good to have kind of extra batteries in your pocket. But batteries need to be provided by anyone using batteries. All right, the curriculum. This is something that we're really excited about, and something that we kind of heard from teachers that would assist in making this program more accessible and easier to run. So we're excited to bring you this new and revised curriculum for 2020. In the past, you received a YIP teacher guide, which was full of valuable information, lots of invention activities and materials to help you run the program and to host an invention fair. But really, it was kind of left to you to take these activities and materials and to create your own lesson plans. And you are still welcome to do that. And if you already have a lesson plan and a curriculum that works well, stick with it, use it. You are not required to make any changes or to use our curriculum. But we did spend the bulk of the summer designing and rewriting a formal curriculum presented in lesson plans that lay out exactly what you need to teach your students. And some of the highlights of that curriculum here, it's fully developed lesson plans. It was designed by teachers. It is standards based. We did divide the curriculum into grade levels, so activities and content are age appropriate. We kind of use the groups of K through third grade, fourth through eighth grade, and then high school, 9th through 12th grade, for the general invention and design track. And you can certainly adapt even more to fit specific needs and specific student needs within your class. Again, meet state and next generation science standards. We have 2 tracks. We have the invention and design track, which is for the general invention category and the challenge invention category. And then we also have a chain reaction machine curriculum as well if you choose to lead that in your school. And then we provide lots of alternate and extension activities, which can be used to replace activities in our own curriculum or to supplement or to be used as homework assignments, or to challenge students that are progressing quickly, however you wish to use. We have a lot of alternate and extension activities so that you can make your program unique or you can do what you feel is going to be most successful in your program. And also our curriculum we provided for any time there's reference to a student worksheet, a video link, we have rubrics and other resources should you choose to use them, and that's all provided. So the invention design track is kind of the most common. And this is for students to kind of create an invention of their choosing. The curriculum consists of 6 units, 2 to 3 lessons each, and this is for grades K through 8. The 9 through 12 invention and design track curriculum is a little bit different, and I'll touch on that in just a moment. But for grades K through 8, the curriculum consists of 6 units, 2 to 3 lessons each, for a total of 13 lessons. And again, you can choose to lead all of the lessons. You can pick the ones that you like and use those and incorporate your own lessons into your curriculum, or you can not use ours at all. The entire program can be taught as an integrated classroom activity. These lessons can be taught in an out-of-school time activity or as an independent project. You can begin some of the lessons and introduce some of the concepts in class and then ask your students to go home to do their work more independently. It's totally up to you how you wish to proceed. We do recommend a minimum of 6 weeks, which would allow inventors enough time to complete the program and to design and produce an invention ready to present at a school or local invention fair. The lessons build skills through focus activities, which will lead inventors through the design process and will incorporate activities which prompt their own brainstorming, experimentation with form, processes, and building to lead to the ultimate outcome, which is their unique invention. More time is always helpful, which allows inventors to cycle through the essential build and test and rebuild phases of invention. And I can't emphasize that enough. The more time you can let students tinker and make changes to their invention, I think the more valuable this experience is in many different ways, not only in kind of their technical skills, but also in teaching them those kind of quote unquote soft skills of kind of perseverance, working through failure, learning through failure, and kind of, making improvements, not just kind of taking something on the first try and being satisfied with it, but pushing themselves to think more critically and to improve what they've started. Projects can be done inside or outside of class. It's really up to you and how you want to set that up. So the invention and design track, here are the units. Again, we have grade levels in each one, but these are the 13 units. And I'm going to kind of get out of here for a minute and just show you an example of a lesson plan. So this is what the lesson plans will look like, and they'll all be provided in the curriculum and program guide for you. So this lesson is Unit 4, Invention and Design, and it's lesson number 9, the Intent to Invent lesson. It's in the traditional lesson plan format, which I hope is helpful for you and for educators, for administrators, anyone looking critically at the program. We have the grade level here, and in this case, this lesson includes adjustments for appropriate grade levels, and so you'll see that in the lesson plan notes, which I'll show in just a minute. We do have some teacher leader tips here, which are just kind of suggestions and recommendations for things to think about as you prepare the lesson or as you're thinking about leading this lesson. And then, of course, we have all of your materials and what you need to do, things that are required for this lesson. There is the Intent to Invent worksheet that you would use in this lesson if you were to, use it in its entirety. If there's prerequisites, there aren't in many cases, but if there are, anything that students should be doing prior to the lesson will be noted as well as a formal objective and what we hope students will accomplish by participating in the lesson. And so then you can see the content. This is the lesson delivery and the plan for that. And again, we've divided it. This is a lesson that there's a little bit difference in the content based on grade level and what expectations and what students are able to do at the various grade levels. So you can look to see how you want to use this or modify it based on the grades that you teach. Then we have our activity. So we have a warm-up, we have an activity, the intent to invent. We have some notes to teachers in some cases, just to kind of help you along. and then there is a closure activity as well. So in this lesson plan, we'll see that there is a review the intent to invent worksheet. Okay, well, what is that? Of course, we provide that for you as well. So the intent to invent worksheet was something that you can either print on your own and hand out, but these worksheets will also be printed and included in a section of the YIP Inventor Journal. So really, if students have the journals, you can tell them, okay, flip to page 23 of your YIP Inventor Journal, and they should have this worksheet already pre-printed, so that you don't need to be inserting worksheets or doing handouts. They can just write their responses right on the worksheet that's included in their Inventor Journal, and hopefully they won't lose that. So the Inventor Journal will not only include the worksheets and kind of the templates to help them go through the curriculum and the lessons that we're providing, but then there'll also be a section that's really a blank notebook that they can use as they're doing their own invention design process and taking their own notes on what they're doing and their work, whether it's independent or done in the class. And then finally, we also have rubrics where appropriate to help you if you are assessing any of these worksheets or any of the projects and the things that students are doing along the way throughout the curriculum. Are there questions?
No, we're just seeing some comments. This is great. They're excited about it.
Okay, cool. Good, we are too. All right, so quickly, as I mentioned before, the high school invention and design track is a little bit different. It allows for more independent exploration and work to brainstorm, to design, build, and present an invention in the form of a long-term project. So it's intentionally designed to incorporate invention into the current class's subject area. So whether it's a physics class or another sort of class, an engineering class. Some teachers have introduced the invention design lessons at intervals, over several months. Again, it's a long-term project, so it's requiring students to manage their own time within the assignment, setting specific deadlines along the way. But other teachers have condensed the program into an intensive unit where the lessons are presented consecutively, and then students are given time within the class or out of class to work on their invention. So again, up to you as the teacher, but the high school curriculum consists of 6 lessons to guide the students through the major components of the design process. And again, just a quick show of the lesson plan for grades 9 through 12. This is lesson number 2. In the same format with teacher and leader tips, all the materials that you'll need. Again, we'll provide the inventor journals, which will help students as their device for recording. And then we have a warm-up, we have in-class activities. The difference, one difference in the high school curriculum for any high school teachers that are listening today, the rubrics are not separate, but they're right in the lesson plan. So rubrics for some of the assignments that are part of the program are here for you. And then we also have this section over here, independent or in-class assignments. Again, based on how you're running your program, you can ask students to do this as a homework assignment or assignment that they're working on, that has a deadline. And they're working on that independently. Or if time is allowed and you're doing this all in class, you can have students be working on this, during their class time. So again, that's up to you and the way that you're choosing to run the program and administer it in your school. But for example, in this assignment, students are asked to present their initial invention idea proposal, to write a formal proposal that addresses the following questions, and that all of the research done and prompts would be recorded in their inventor journal, and then they're submitting to you a written proposal, which then you may assess if you'd like using the rubric here. And again, we kind of have the reminder, you would just set your own deadline And we encourage the high school program teachers to use a syllabus and we have a template that's provided as well to help you so that you can give the syllabus for the program when you introduce it at the beginning, and that kind of sets out all the deadlines throughout the project and what your expectations are. All right, great. So that's the high school track. All right, so again, the 6 lessons involved. Chain reaction machine. So if you are doing the Rube Goldberg machine, now called chain reaction machine track, we also have a designed curriculum for that as well. This curriculum consists of just 1 unit, a total of 4 lessons. However, students need a lot of time to learn about and to play with the types of the simple machines that are necessary to build a chain reaction machine. So the chain reaction machine track can be taught as an integrated classroom activity. It can be done as an out of school time activity or as an independent project. Again, up to you how you wish to proceed and how you wish to lead it. We recommend a minimum of 4 weeks, which would allow inventors the time that they need to complete the program, which also includes time to design and produce an invention, which would be ready to present at the school or local invention fair. These lessons build skills through focus activities, which introduce students to the science methods of simple machines and incorporate activities which prompt their own brainstorming, their experimentation with form, process, and building to lead to the ultimate outcome, which is a complex machine designed to perform a simple task. More time is always helpful to allow students to cycle through that build and test and rebuild phase, just as it was in the invention and design track. And so here are the lessons within that. And again, revisiting, I'll just show simple machines. So again, the lesson plan looks very similar in the way it's presented, with everything you need to get ready and to be prepared to teach the lesson, all the materials, things that would be necessary, and then the content. And for the chain reaction machine, all notes and things should be documented and recorded in some sort of logbook. The Young Inventors Inventor Journal is perfect for that. But you want to make sure that students are doing a logbook for the chain reaction machines. All right, and so that is one of those. Great. Good. So, are there any questions about the curriculum before I move on? And we're almost.
No, so far we're good.
Great. So resources. As always, YIP provides access to the curriculum and to support for free. This is a tuition-free program. It's free for you, for your schools, for your students. We simply ask that you're registering your school or organization with us so we know who you are and we can give you optimal support throughout our newsletters, through workshops, through networking with other YIP program leaders. We'll be able to invite you and students to participate in the student online activities and opportunities that we'll have. So that's why registration is so important. But really, other than that, everything is free. Once you register, and I know most of you have, but in the next week, you'll be receiving a link, which is like a survey or an order form for your YIP pack. So you can decide what you want and how much you need for your program. And then that YIP pack will include the Young Inventors journals for all the students. It will include a gift card for you to be able to purchase materials for your class and things that you need to run the program. You can also choose to receive medals and certificates for your school and local invention fair. And of course, we'll provide the YIP curriculum and program guide, which is the curriculum as well as all of the alternate and extension activities, templates, recommendations, how to communicate home to parents, how to run the invention fair. All of those things will be in the program guide. Great. And we do hope that you'll share materials that you are creating and that you're using, as well as let us know of your best practices so that we can begin to work together in a true collaborative YIP community. All right, questions. So I do want to take some time if there are any questions that you can either unmute yourself and ask, or again, you can chat in and Sarah will help with that.
There is a question, just a general question, it looks like from a newer person. Do programs tend to have students build in class or at home?
That's a great question, and it really varies. I would say about 50-50. We have a lot of schools and programs that kind of introduce invention in the classroom, but then have students going home to do most of the work on the project themselves. And then we do have some schools, though, that do not allow work to be done outside of school or outside of the classroom in order to make sure that all students have kind of equal access to resources and materials. We know that some students can get a lot more support in the form of resources, in the form of parent guardian help at home than others may not have that. And so it's really up to you what you want to do. But I do recommend that if you're allowing students to work outside of the home, outside of school and, take projects home or do a bulk of the work at home, that you set some parameters and that you perhaps communicate home in an email to parents and guardians or in a letter. And we do have templates for those things in our curriculum and program guide to help you. But, to kind of say what the expectation is at home for working on this so that families are aware of what students are doing and what the program is and what your wishes and expectations are. So, and certainly if you have individual questions, call us at any time and we can help walk you through that or give you more support, or if you need language for writing a letter or anything like that, we can help provide that for you.
Great. And this is just a note from me for everybody, is to keep watch of your email, because we're going to be using that. We're struggling a little bit with our website right now as we transition to a new website. So definitely look for materials in your email and we'll do our best with the old website.
Great, thanks. Are there any other questions?
We're looking pretty good. Everybody's saying thank you and looks great. Excited to get going.
Cool. Well, this concludes the webinar for today. So thank you for joining. Please continue to stay in touch with us. So again, here's my contact, but give us feedback on today's session. I'd love to know what you thought about the webinar today. Let us know what you think of the new materials and resources. Let me know what you'd like to see in the future. Is there a specific topic? I know somebody's already mentioned to me focusing on how to recruit judges for the Invention Fair. So certainly we'll try to design an information session to give you some support and ideas on how you can start to recruit volunteers and judges, and also prepare judges for your local Invention Fair. And anything else you need to run the YIP in your school or organization, please let us know. We're here to support you, but we rely on your input to be able to do that to the best of our abilities. So don't hesitate to contact me at any time. You can call or email, and I hope that you all have a wonderful afternoon. Thanks so much. Bye.